Hey, welcome to the Tim and Gugabe podcast. This is your host, Tim Gugabe. We didn't have your video at first, but it looks like you got it now. You look like you're in a slightly different location than usual, too.
I don't know. Life is complicated. Between minimum security, maximum security. We know how it is.
All right, we can go over the Grasso card. What did you think of the fight? I guess, how did you score it, and then, what were your overall thoughts on it?
I mean, 50-50. I didn't have like a huge lean on the score. Like the whole fight really comes down to round four. But I do still think Shevchenko wins it far more often than not because like Grasso just kind of only had success over these like singular moments, while like Shevchenko won like 18 minutes of the fight. That's pretty much it to me. Like again, I think Grasso winning I think Grasso getting the decision would be fine. The draw was absolutely absurd, but it just felt like I feel like the whoever was judging must have just had this sort of like brain fart, or not brain fart, but was just like, I think this should be a draw, so I'm gonna make it a draw kind of thing. And it's just like,
Yeah,
I get like a pride whole fight scoring draw argument for that fight. Like I understand, but giving that round 5 to 10-8 is stupid. I mean, Shevchenko's better than MMA, but seems to have lost the physical step and does occasionally some dumb shit. Like she probably won like 20 minutes of that fight.
what?
Like round 2, she got knocked down. She gave it a back take, and she had like some, she had some weird stuff in round 4 for a couple of minutes. But like Shevchenko was the better fighter for
I think
19, 20 minutes of that fight.
I think having a hot take on who won the fight's kind of dumb. It was very 50-50 because round 4, like Alexa had some good knees, whatever, but Valentina did open her up. I think like siding with the cut is totally reasonable. I think siding with Alexa's like knee moment is totally reasonable. I think people like claiming otherwise are dumb. And I did have a little cash on Valentina. And I think I'm being very fair saying it was a 50-50 fight. Like, I just think it was. Going forward, if it was like minus 150 again, Valentina, I don't want to play it just because, like, if she doesn't go for a spin kick or a head and arm throw and just does things to not give up her back, which she can clearly do, she can fight smart. Like, she's capable of doing it. I think she wins the fight far more often than not. But like now it's 3 fights in a row. She's given up her back like multiple times. Santos like 2 or 3 times. Grasso the first time, and then this time. And it's just like, if she doesn't do that, I think she wins fine. And I think that's like by far the most reasonable like outcome. But she probably will do something dumb like over the course of 25 minutes. Like she just might. And like Alexa's better when she gets a back. Like she can do more when she gets the back than Valentina can, if that makes sense. Like Valentina can kind of like hold the body triangle. Like I just feel like Valentina can like hold the round, but Alexa's like a little better at surviving when she gets her back taken. Where like Valentina, when she gets her back taken, like she got finished once, and the other time, like in round 5, like Alexa did kind of beat her up, like bad. So it's just one of those fights. But like where if Valentina fights smart, I think she's minus 300, but she's probably not going to fight smart. So it's a very, very close fight.
I think if she fights smart, she's like minus 10,000. Like Grasso hasn't fuck all for her. If she starts throwing back throws, like she minus a lot. This just feels like a Jan Sterling kind of situation. It's like, all right, it had 2 close fights, but I still think Jan's intellectually minus 300. Like,
I would favor Jan in that match.
So volatility happens there.
Yeah.
Like, that's just kind of I've never been a huge fan of Shevchenko. I've never historically, I'm not a big juice better or whatever, but I just feel like Shevchenko, Grasso is just inherently drawing fairly familiar. Like this one, she had like a women's MMA knockdown, like her first career UFC knockdown.
Yeah.
Which got her around 2. She still lost 3.5 minutes of. Because even after she knocked her down, Shevchenko took her down and ends up right back atop the berth, whatever. She was what? She almost got tapped at one point. And
losing that clean. Like round 5, she was losing it clean. It's like she did nothing to get the round. It was like Valentina just made a mistake, which is like, but again, Valentina is kind of an idiot. Like
I mean, I agree. I just don't think that. I just don't.
Yeah, I just wouldn't feel like getting involved
with
the same line. I would just be like, fuck it. Even though if someone dominates like 50-45, it's going to be Valentina. Like she was literally a non-head and arm throw away in round 5 to winning a pretty clean 49-46, 48. Like a pretty like you would have said she almost covered the line. Like, so it's just it's
almost if she without the end of round 5, she's massively covers the line. It's like what? I mean, 49-46, and Grasso's only success would have been a women's MMA knockdown.
Yeah, I just hate how much she's just not good when she gets her back taken, and she is just dumb enough to give it up like 1 or 2 times in a 25-minute fight. It's just Co-main event was that Madalena and Holland.
Yeah, Yellow's decent striker, 50-50, high tempo striking. What you do?
Madalena just hit harder. I picked him to win, but I wasn't confident. And it was just he like hit a little harder in the pocket, but it was every round was close. But I did think Madalena probably got almost all of them. Like I leaned him just a bit.
Yeah, I agree. Like, that's called it for Padilla. I think the fight was there with like a minute left, but Padilla just pushed a little bit harder. Like if you remember, I think Holland got one round 1 card and unanimously got round 2. So like the fight was in the air with the last sequence, but I don't know. High tempo striking. I think from a betting point of view, rerun, Della's probably a little bit better striking, but Holland a bit more athletic upside and a bit more like you can have actually rely on him to do it kind of a thing. But if anybody was going to actually mix the fucking marshals, it'd probably be Holland. So it's just like I think price wise, like 50-50 was fine.
Rosas Mitchell, we don't have to talk about. Zellhuber Giagos was
how dare you?
Giagos, it was the most like if he had a gas tank, he would be a top 15 lightweight.
Yeah, he's Holland. He just had 7 minutes of cardio.
He's absurd.
That's weird because it's like I understand when he's like absolutely crashing the grappling. I understand him gassing, but like he's had several fights now where he's had like low medium tempo strike. Even like Zellhuber here was like Zellhuber was kind of pulling an Octon for like 6 minutes and decided to actually do things because he's like. Zellhuber's kind of weird to me. Like he just seems to be he does seem to be scared of grapplers. Like he did nothing around 1. Like maybe obviously Giagos did hurt him like 30 seconds in, so that probably also helped. But that probably shook his confidence. I did pretty well in this one because I had Giagos pre-fight like plus 280, and I sort of went after round 1. I was like, oh, it's even, so I'm not be on Giagos it's Giagos. We all know he's got like a 50% chance of just dying for no particular reason. Yeah, I mean, Zellhuber seems solid. Like, it's decent attribute fight. Like, busy. Yeah, it kind of reminds me of Barhondes, that kind of shit, where it's like busy, pacey, long, strikey. But I just think it's kind of a meta shift these days. It just like you get a bunch of athletes like Zellhuber and Rollers and that kind of shit who just like can put a good pace on and they're good strikers, but just the grappling's not really there. But I feel like the fight, MMA meta is just kind of moving away from these really proactive wrestlers so much, so like, there's not as much corrective for this kind of archetype.
Yeah. Nelson I thought Nelson won, like, for sure. 30-27 is a little wide, but he won 2 and 3. Like, I had no money on it, and I thought it was pretty clean.
I had Nelson's decision. I thought it was Padilla, but like I think Nelson was clearly their money line side. Like rematch tomorrow, Nelson was definitely the side, but I do think Padilla won the fight.
You thought
that's my view. Just like
why?
Yeah, round 1 and 3. I think he just mildly outworked. Doesn't he get like what was the media scorecast? Round 1 and 2 were super clear.
I thought 2 and 3. I thought 1 was clear. Padilla. How did the commenters score that fight? I thought Nelson like cleanly won 2 and 3. He was landing the bigger.
MMA decisions 50-50.
Significant strikes were 25-24 in round 1 for Nelson, but I thought he got beat up a little bit, like harder shots.
Yeah, he did.
Like
round 1 was
19 in round 2, and then 26-22 round 3. So like, I leaned. I also thought like Nelson was just landing harder in like the later stages of the fight.
Yeah, so again, I'm not saying like it was a horrendous robbery. I just scored it for Padilla, and I thought Padilla and his Mexican card would have that extra 5-10%.
Yeah,
again, Nelson was definitely money line side. I had a little bit of Nelson. Like Nelson was definitely the correct bet. My look at it was just like I expected.
It was still a competitive fight.
100%. Like Nelson plus 200. If we run Nelson plus 200 all day, like Nelson It was a 50-50 fight. I just scored it slightly for Padilla personally.
Okay. Godinez murdered Elise Reed. Kopylov murdered Frem. Frem just isn't very athletic, and he just kind of, yeah.
I think the nose exploding like that was bad for him, but again, like there's always going to be a kind of element of that. Because like first round was like, I think there were evens and strikes the first round, so Kopylov was hitting him a bit harder, then like nose exploded, and then it was done.
Yeah. Everyone was mad at me on Twitter for this one, but I thought the no contest was like, I talked to a jiu-jitsu referee today, and like you don't have to check an arm. Like the way that arm went limp, it's like, I think to overturn something, I think the standard is like it has to be like an obvious error by the referee, and I just feel like Lucero's arm went down like it got hit with a sniper rifle. And I feel like jumping in there is totally reasonable. Like, do I think it would have been better to also check the arm? Yes. Like, do I think he could have done more? For sure. But I feel like, and Dean Thomas talked about it on the fight show, because he had disagreed with Cruz and stuff too. And I did, like, when it was happening. Like, it's almost, you can't, like, Robbie Lawler was, like, resting whenever, like, his arm did not go down. Like, and that didn't get overturned, where this one I thought was totally reasonable to stop. I do think he could have done more, but I don't think like it was a bad stoppage. And I'm really surprised they overturned it. But I feel like Cruz also just jumped the gun, because on their angle on the broadcast, they didn't even see the arm go limp, and because they were already saying like, oh, they better not stop it. And then once they saw the arm go limp later, they were kind of like, oh, but I don't know. It was like they were pot committed to their opinion. What did you think? Like, you're a grappler.
I thought it was a little bit early, but also like looking from the referee's perspective, I can see how the referee decided to stop that fight, because like Lucero did like two kind of taps. Like he wasn't tapping, but he was like kind of reaching for it. Then his arm just drops. And it was just like, so like between the sort of two sort of near taps and the arm drop, I can see if I'm talking to Noni why I jump in. But I thought, again, it's a choke. You could probably give it a little bit more time. Actually, the fight was also kind of funny, because it was like Lucero was kind of doing the correct, like Lucero was actually looking okay, was kind of doing the correct things, and then just jumps to a guillotine anyway, just because like it's Lucero and it's how he rolls. Like Lucero was like, I mean, minus 200 a minute before the guillotine, and it's just like of all the things, like how the fuck do you do that to yourself? If
it got,
I can say how.
I think Charis, I don't think it was going, like, I have a little different take on that. Like, I feel like Lucero, he was losing the striking 13-2 at distance, and then he got the takedown. It's like, but he couldn't even pass the guard, and then Charis got back up, and it's like he dove for another one and got put in the guillotine. Like, I just feel like it was kind of panicky, and he wasn't getting anything accomplished on the mat anyway. Like, he couldn't pass guard. I know he was fighting a little more measured, but if the line gets I was on Charis, and I was on Valentina. I'm not going to play it again. I was on Charis and got the same line. I would play Charis again personally. Like, I just feel like Lucero is going to get like.
That's insane. Shevchenko was a far better bet. Like,
what's up?
Charis is not good. Charis is not good. He has no positional grappling. Like,
he
jumped the guillotine. If he misses a guillotine, he can't have that place.
But the
issue with Lucero is
was diving for a guillotine, or he was diving for a shot into a guillotine.
The UFC guillotine success rate is like 7% or some shit. Like, again, like if Charis misses the guillotine, he ends up on his back again. And he's like, "Whoa, this is fucking yet again." Like,
he wasn't in a guillotine where he was giving up his hips that he could get taken down again. Like the shot was stopped, and he had him in like a front headlock position. He was in a good defensive wrestling position there, like with the guillotine.
How many times people fuck those up? Like, and like, there is a reason why the guillotine. Like, we've had runs of 50 UFC guillotines not hitting. Like, it's been amazing actually hitting lately, but like.
But he was also in like it was like an anaconda guillotine. Like, he had like, it wasn't like he was just in a guillotine where his hips were, like, he had like the arm as well. And I don't know.
I just think minus 200 guillotine should not be in the same conversation.
But he was also out on the feet, and Lucero couldn't pass his guard at all, and he didn't land 2 ground strikes. He landed 2 strikes in the fight, and he landed 1 takedown.
Lucero was a minus.
Huh?
Lucero's big minus who's controlling his cardio. Lucero's gas outs have come from knocking people down and going absolutely fucking bananas, not just from grappling. And
I feel like if he fought measured, he would still gas them. Like I feel like he would still just like eventually.
Yeah, people always say that. Yeah, people always say because again, I just think that Lucero cardio takes is like his UFC gas outs have all just been like these insane like I'm going to throw 15,000 strikes in a minute. I don't know. It's hard to prove. I'll just leave it at that. My view is just like
I think we have to see it play out again. That's fair, but I would play Charis again personally. Just like the way I was reading the situation, I just feel like he couldn't do anything on the mat anyway. Like so, it's like okay, whatever. You can get a takedown. It's like what are you going to do with it? But whatever. Cortez and Jasmine. What I thought surprised me. I thought it was very competitive.
I mean, the whole thing was just like, again, 29-28 Cortez, fine. 30-27 surprised me. I was like Cortez winning that fight without going for a single takedown. Like, if somebody told you that pre-fight, like, if somebody asked that fight, like, essentially, if somebody sent you a screenshot before that fight of just because having the only 2 takedowns and having 3 minutes of control against Cortez having 26 seconds of control, which side would you bet?
Jasmine, yeah.
Like if you knew nothing pre-fight apart from if we just sent you back in time to grappling stats in that fight, you would have bet you would have 5 units on Jasmine because on the face of it, it was a grappling match.
Cortez
looked good.
Cortez's striking looked pretty I was surprised. I didn't think she'd be able to hold that up for 15 minutes. Like, because I do think probably giving her the fight is like totally fair and totally I thought it was very close. I was watching
round 2. She shouldn't have gotten.
What's up?
She shouldn't have got round 2. She shouldn't have gotten round 2, but yeah, she did. I think she won the fight, but she's round 2 for Cortez.
Yeah, round 2 is Jasmine. Campbell killed Reyes. Knudsen looked all right against Man, but Man's not really good. Let's move on to this week. Fiziev, Gamrot, what do you think?
Gamrot. I don't think he historically liked Gamrot, but I just do not see why Fiziev's favourite here. Like, again, I know I say low medium striking tempo thing a lot, but Gamrot is going to try for a lot of takedowns. Fiziev gets tired. I trust Gamrot to win rounds 4 and 5 a lot more than I trust Fiziev to win rounds 1. Yeah, once Gamrot gets rolling here, I think he just wins hard from that moment onwards, and Fiziev either needs to knock him out or kind of take a tight rounds 1 to 3, and the entire time a slip from Fiziev or fuck up just becomes the fight kind of situation. I'm not going crazy on Gamrot because Gamrot's been very kind of reliant on his cardio and durability so far. Because Gamrot kind of annoys me because people coming in, people like this guy's a technical god kind of thing. Then in UFC, he's just been essentially fucking up. He's not been that good in terms of actual ability. He's just had these insane durability and cardio performances. Yeah. And it's possible, but Gamrot just comes out and just does not have his insanity pace anymore. It does happen. But if Gamrot rocks up and I'm expecting Gamrot to go for 20-odd takedowns over 25 minutes here and to put up an insane pace against a guy who's kind of gassy. Fiziev got dragged down by fucking Gage, and I don't think Gage is that good. And I think Fiziev's blood off has issues.
I think Fiziev pre-fight Gamrot live. I think Fiziev will probably win early, and then I feel like if Gamrot wins, it will. I would much rather live bet Gamrot in the fight because he might get knocked out early. I don't think it will be easy to take Fiziev down right away, and he might get knocked out. So that's kind of my opinion. But I do think if Gamrot wins, it will kind of be down the stretch type of thing. I feel like maybe he'll keep rounds 2 and 3 competitive and then take over 4 and 5. But I don't have really strong opinions. I do think Gamrot's going to struggle to hold and keep him down early, and Fiziev's better on the feet. So there's going to be danger, but I do agree. Gamrot could potentially just take over later.
I just think historically, MMA as a sport has indicated that the grappling and the cardio side is usually going to be the side in 50-50. I just think Gamrot winning late is a lot more locked in than Fiziev winning early, just because I feel you could see Fiziev having issues. I think Gamrot's more likely to win a sort of Gamrot's more competitive on the feet, but Fiziev's on the grappling. And I just feel the moment Gamrot actually starts getting his shit together, like the moment Gamrot's game starts working, he probably just goes from like plus 300 to like minus 200 in like 60 seconds kind of situation. Like the second that Fiziev ever gets put down flat.
Yeah, I have no strong opinions. Mitchell and Ige, what do you think of that?
It's kind of funny because like this is kind of the same fight as the main event. To a certain degree. And people are, so people have gone from plus 130 on the grappling pace side to minus 200 on the grappling pace side. And like, Mitchell's probably more committed, and Ige has more of a bottom issue, but like the dynamic is very similar.
Bottom game issue than Fiziev, at least like early in fights,
Yeah, but like
I'm not comfortable with Mitchell up at like around minus 200. Like that's what he's now. I picked him to win, but I think it's like Ige's better on the feet. And like Evloev shot like double-digit takedowns and only got like 5 or 6 minutes of control. Like Ige did a decent job of scrambling up. It's just the issue is Evloev is also like a better striker than Ige. Where like that's not the case for Mitchell. Like if Ige defensively grappled like that fight, he does have I feel like this could be like a control versus damage type of thing. Like I feel like Ige will land the better shot standing, and I do think Mitchell will get takedowns and get some stretches of control. I just don't know if he'll do it for like I feel like Ige can resist and scramble up though. Like I think there's going to be pockets of both guys having success, and I feel like that can make a close fight. I kind of side with the grappler because I feel like if someone dominates, like Mitchell might just fuck him on the mat. But yeah, and like both guys are very tough, like this will probably go to the cards, and I just feel like it could be competitive. But like I get favoring the grappler, but it's like I'm not comfortable. Like I played Mitchell around this line against Edson Barboza because Barboza does not know how to get up, but Ige can like resist a little bit. Are you like similar?
And even the Barboza fight, like the whole like how do you put it? Like the whole domination started off like Mitchell getting that knockdown.
True. Yeah.
Like, Barboza's historically been one of those guys who, like, before you get the first takedown on Barboza, he's difficult to deal with. But the second you get your first, like, his whole day position, Barboza just kind of mentally collapses a bit.
Yeah.
So it's like, if Mitchell doesn't get that knockdown, like, that doesn't necessarily, again, I think Mitchell eventually does drag him down kind of a thing. But, like, it's like, that snowball started like probably faster than it could have. Like there's probably versions of that where it takes Mitchell like 6 minutes, 7 minutes to get his first takedown, whilst like he just kind of you get sometimes fights like if you're the sort of pressure guy and you happen to get an early knockdown, it just gives you like this massive boost. Even Strickland a couple of weeks ago, like it does happen. I'll probably play more. Like, I'll probably be more to Ige inside the distance, or Ige KO than like his money line. So I think he's probably drawing a little bit thin on the decisions because I feel like Mitchell is so fucking hittable. Like Ige decision requires either like 2 knockdowns or Mitchell just getting fear of God, and that's also the thing that concerns me. Of like with these pace grappler guys, like Mitchell's coming off getting absolutely blasted last fight. Sometimes these guys just lose a bit of that animal, and if you have no plan B. Like, it's a whole Conor Grasso thing. We've seen enough times with, like, somebody who's been, like, a pace rat, who's just been, like, a single-issue grappler, just gets knocked out once, and then or gets tired once, and then they just don't push as hard anymore. And then, then it just it creates this sort of vicious loop where you just go from being, like, you go from being a functional 50-50 sub-1 guy to just fucked because you just don't have it anymore.
Yeah, it's just, I don't know. I just feel like I slightly favor Mitchell, but like minus 200 just seems a little like optimistic. I don't know. I feel like he is not.
If Mitchell wins, I think he'll look. Yeah. I mean, he isn't. He isn't.
What's up?
He is. But he is Edson Barboza and he isn't Edson Barboza. Like I probably trust a fresh Barboza's takedown defense more than I trust Ige's takedown defense, but also Ige's probably less like absolutely collapsed.
Ige's get ups are better. Like if you take Barboza down, he literally can't get up. And then that was why I liked Mitchell in that fight and why I played him. But I don't know. Marina and Waterson, I don't know why they're rematching.
Why is this happening again?
Yeah, I feel like there's at 115, there's a lot of interesting fights that they could make with these two, like with anyone else. I don't know why they're rematching. I picked Marina the first time. The fight kind of played out how I thought, like 49, 46, 48, 47. Like, it's like on the feet, Marina's better, so she should probably win for those reasons. Like, she moderately outstruck her in the first fight. And then it's like, if Waterson memes a couple takedowns spread out over 2 rounds, sure, she might be able to win a decision. That's probably your path to victory, don't you think?
Yeah, most likely.
What's up?
Yeah. Yeah. It's most likely. Like, yeah. Waterson 2 takedowns could win this, but otherwise, like, and yeah, price seems fine.
Yeah, it's what is she now, Marina? Like minus 250 ish, probably.
Yeah, that's fine. My opinion.
Battle and Fletcher. What do you think here?
I mean, this fight is going to play out like Fletcher is going to knock him down once in round 1. We'll have a big moment. And Battle's going to pull away down the stretch, kind of thing. What's the price for him? Yeah, plus 150 Fletcher. Like, that seems about right. Live bet Battle or like late props Battle. I think Dry Battle's decent. I think Dry Battle's not bad. Like, yeah, he got a lot of shit coming into the UFC. But he's kind of like building himself into a Neil Magny kind of a thing. Or just like, yeah, he's not. He lacks an athletic gear, but he works hard. He's tough, and he sort of does okay research and that kind of stuff. And like, I like Ryan Battle, don't mind him. And AJ Fletcher is a god, so yeah, we all know what an AJ Fletcher win looks like. What else can you say, really?
Yeah, it's I guess Battle on like cardio and like not just like potentially getting randomly like collapsing, you know. But like he's still not that, I don't know, he's not that great, and Fletcher could get some like takedowns here and stuff, but like Battle resists enough, probably has like, I don't know, I trust him more to like make shit happen in 3 rounds. But I don't really have a strong opinion. I favor him mild to moderately, but I don't really care. What do you think about Jordan and Ramos?
I think Ramos is kind of a flake, but I feel like he should be the favorite here. Like, I don't understand. Like, I've never liked Jordan. Like, I've never liked Jordan as the favorite. Like, Jordan's a great guy for forcing 50-50. Like, when Jordan's having his ideal fight, he's having an absolute slobber knocker 50-50 kind of thing. He can't grapple. He's undersized. It's just like, if anybody comes out here and looks minus 500, it's going to be Ramos just back taking him to it twice. Like, what else that's pretty much it. Like, Jordan's grappling issues are massive. Like, Burgos backpacking pretty easily. If Ramos decides to grapple here, like, I'm pretty sure Ramos can just make him look like an idiot. Like, I've never understood why people like Jordan. Like, unless Jordan's leg kick winning you or winning on cardio, it's like he just doesn't really do anything well enough to be a big favorite in the UFC.
Yeah,
like he's the classic guy who's like betting plus 200, fade at minus 200. Like, there are very few fights in the UFC where I would be interested in betting like a favorite Jordan.
Yeah, I probably favor Jordan standing, like just on durability and like. And like that's
I agree
for that reason. But like if Ramos just like Ramos could just dominate him on the mat, it's like, do you trust him to like? He doesn't like. He grapples a little bit, but he doesn't grapple like as much as I would like to like bet him, you know. But he could. I don't know. What are some of the? Are there any props you like here?
I prefer like under. I'd rather take the under than take Jordan money line, to be honest. Just because I feel like if Jordan's money line is looking good, it probably means that there's going to be an absolute war. That's how Jordan fights. I mean, Ramos is a fairly consistent grappler in his wins. Like, he beat Algio. He hit 8 takedowns against Algio. I'm expecting Ramos to do what he did to Algio, essentially. If this was a pure kickboxing fight, like, I slightly favor Jordan, but Jordan has nothing. Like, Jordan, he lost 2 rounds striking to Marcelo Rojo. He lost 2 rounds striking to Culibao. He's lost 2 rounds striking to, like, Jordan's not that good a striker. Like, he's fun, but even in his wins even in his striking wins, he's generally managed to lose like a round or 2 against pretty everybody until he like switches on cardio wise. Like what? He lost a round to Yule. He lost a round to Rojo. He got fucked up by Rosa. Burgos was like, Wood fucked him up. Burgos was has clearly lost the step kind of a situation, and Burgos, even whilst exhausted, still managed to backtake him a bunch. Duhu Choi, and that was like, he's down round 1. Like, where is the upside on Jordan here?
I
just can't see how.
from a money line perspective, I don't really care. I kind of like the under at plus 105. I just feel like, I just think both guys are kind of dangerous, and then like Ramos sub is live too. I kind of like that, but honestly, I'll probably pass from the fight overall. I'm kind of surprised that Tim Means is plus 160 against Fialio. That doesn't make any sense to me.
Yes.
I made a lot of money betting against Fialio. I'm not saying I think Means is gonna I'm not like guaranteeing a victory. Like he could very well go get knocked out, but he's been getting like subbed a lot lately. Like he hasn't been getting just like put out cold. And Fialio, honestly, Fialio might have worse durability than Means. And then Means also is like probably a better grappler. He's a better round winning striker. The age does scare me. Like there's things that could make an equation to give Fialio a win. Like he's got power, Means his age, but Means was beating Morono and then he got guillotined. And it's like Fialio doesn't sub anyone. I feel like that is like an offline. I threw a little bit on plus 170 and I'm going to kind of like, I'm hoping I can just like hedge out, make a little bit of a profit. Like I might just roll with it, but I'm not confident in it. But I feel like I pick Means straight in that fight. It's like a close fight, but it just seems a little. There's been a lot of offlines with Fialio. I just feel like this is probably off too. What do you think?
Yeah, I think Fialio just kind of, it's like sometimes people just go on stupid KO1 runs. I feel like Fialio is getting power ranked on account of knocking a bunch of people out, the people like taking more seriously than they should. Like, yeah, Fialio's off like 3 straight knockout losses himself. So it's like people are saying, oh, he's younger and more durable and hits harder.
Yeah,
it's
that's what I'm saying. Means is probably more durable. Like if you just looked at it objectively.
And Fialio just got fucking outlasted by Muslim Zelikov. Yeah, Muslim Zelikov is a good striker, but like I honestly think Muslim Zelikov is kind of more shot than Means is.
Yeah,
like Muslim Zelikov dies if you make him throw 40 shots. Like, yeah, Zelikov's probably got a better style to be honest. He's a lot more sort of mind. He probably is a lot more safe. But like, yeah, it's like, yeah, how is? I'm not putting the life savings on me just because like it's he's old and he could definitely get flat. He could definitely get whopped. But like, I just don't really see how. Like again, I felt like he had more wins than he did. I thought he felt like he had more UFC wins than he does because like he's only beat Tampa and Baiza, and even Baiza was like
If you look at Means' last 6 fights, it's like Staropoli. He was an underdog. I played him in that fight. He won dominantly. Mike Perry, he won that fight. Nick Dalby, he beat Nick Dalby. Like those are 3 good wins. He got club and sub by Holland, which is like that's totally understandable. Max Griffin was like really competitive, and I would favor Max over Fialio. And then Alex Morono, it's like he won a round and then just got guillotined. It's like there hasn't been a single bad performance in there that I would say. Like none of those performances I look at and I'm like, if he fights like that, he's gonna lose to Fialio. That's the way I'm like looking at this. And then Fialio, like, and I keep playing against this guy. Like I played Matthews against him, I played Salikov against him, I played Buckley at like minus 200 against him. That fight ended up being a little more competitive than I would have liked, but still, Buckley was like more durable and better. And I just feel like, like Means is like obviously the side here.
Yeah, like again, it's like there's just not many guys in the UFC who I'd make Fialio minus 150 against. Like he just doesn't really have he's actually like minus 180 at the moment. So it's like, when has Fialio ever justified this price? Like and it's like the age issue for Means. It's not like Fialio has shit durability and shit cardio himself.
Means cardio isn't even that bad. Like I don't even think Means cardio is that bad. Like I think he has a cardio edge. Like I think he's a durability. I think he almost has an edge everywhere. It's just like you're a little worried that he could just fall off a cliff from his age. I think that's like it. And it's not like you're playing minus 150 though. You're getting a plus 160, like a pretty big underdog. So seems obvious to me, but I don't know. I don't know. I'm not saying it's a guaranteed win, but like, who's the side? It's Tim Means, and it's pretty clear. Like it's almost like a bizarre line. I thought he would probably be favored in this matchup, but who knows? Anything else?
I thought like 50-50 in face of it. I'm trying to think what else is funny. Miles Johnson versus Gugabe is going to be funny. Like Miles Johnson is going to be looking good, and then just fucking collapse later.
Miles Johnson is like just get him at some point.
Yeah, I agree. It's, like Miles Johnson will be looking great for 8 minutes, and then we'll just die. Like Miles Johnson is weird because like he honestly has pretty good tools. He just doesn't. He just doesn't really have like grit. Like it's weird. Like Miles Jones, like he could be a lot better than he is.
Yeah.
Collier Usman's gonna be funny. I just feel like Collier probably shouldn't be the underdog there.
Everyone seems
like
to
Usman.
Collier, but
Usman's very mid, so it's just like, well, you know, Usman was just losing it. Usman needed the miracle to beat what's his name, then you know, wrestled Harper, and it's like, yeah, I think you got to go Collier a pass realistically. Like Collier's been a bit unfortunate, but he's been like 50-50 in his last 5 fights, of which are all better fighters than Usman.
Yeah.
I don't think Usman is as good as Arlovsky, Felipe, or Budai, in my opinion.
Trying to see if there's any other. I have to go in like 2 minutes. Is there anything else? Like, I'm still looking into some other stuff. Malkin will be fun. Like, he should roll, unless if he just like gets.
Yeah, he should.
Yeah.
I mean, Malkin lacks settlers. Isn't the point? You never know if like one day he just gets around and bonks kind of a situation. Like he just feels like he's live for it. But like, yeah, Brandon's probably not that guy.
All right, well, that's everything.
Malcolm Hawes is aged hysterically. You got to say that. Like when Hawes killed Malcolm, people are like, oh, Malcolm's a bum. That would be like minus 20 billion. But it's like, honestly, rewatching that, Malcolm probably gives Hawes issues.
Yeah. I got to roll though, but thanks for listening. Next week, I think we're off next week, right?
Yeah, we're off. There's Dawson Best Green the week after.
Gotcha. Okay, cool. Well, we should get Magic to join for that one. He hates both the guys. It would be a funny guest appearance. But all right. Well, thank you, everybody. Good luck with your bets this weekend, and we will talk to you, I guess, in like a couple weeks. So, thanks, everyone. Bye.
Thanks for listening. Bye.